can you, for maybe a young listener to this, who just is focusing on maybe only seeing that, thinking that the physical components are the most important thing or the only thing, maybe you can mention, in fact, or something around, talk to them a little bit about how important that mental side is and that preparation side is. I'll start with you, Coach.
One thing before I even go deep into that, one thing that, one of the players in my first year in the CFL had told me, like, you're young, you think you're fast, you think you're strong. All of that means nothing if you don't have the proper angle. And that's what he always told me. He's like, you can be faster than me, but I promise you I'll make the tackle before you get there. I'm like, why? He's like, because I always have the proper angle. And it's not just that, because he always understood exactly, what the offense wanted to do before they did it, with the formation. And I can remember him, bringing me after practice. He's like, I don't have to do this, but we're going to sit down here and look at every single plays. And he's telling me, he's like, you understand exactly, this is 1st and 10. Why are they lined up like this? What do you think that they're doing? Breaking down all the plays. And he told me, he's like, once I know this, when I get on the field, I already know what they're going to run because I watched film, And it took a lot of, because he would tell me, he's like, you spend more time in the gym lifting weights and trying to run fast, but you need to spend more time in the classroom understanding what the offense wants to do, because that makes your game easier. That slows down the game completely. And once I understood that, it really helped me, slow down everything. I remember, I think my second year, I had one game where I had like 2 interceptions just because of that. I spent a whole week of just paying attention to the quarterback. What is he looking for? Like, where is he looking? What does he want? What's his first look, his last look? And it was, the game slowed down so fast that, sometimes I was there before the ball came. So that's understanding the game before you get on the field is very key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's extremely important. Like, as important as being physically ready. You obviously want to be ready. Because if you're not physically healthy, but you want to be physically ready, but at the same time, I would even argue that it's more important to be mentally ready, right? One of the things that Coach Waterman, again, like he said, a lot of stuff that has stuck with both of us up until today. And one of the things that he says regarding kind of mental preparation is, if you think you stink, right? That's something I've always kept with me. If you think you stink. And so for me, mental preparation, you guys remember I used to be in the office, like you guys used to have to kick me out. Okay, we gotta have coaches meetings. We gotta have coaches meetings. And I was like, hey, can I just sit in on this? No, this is coaches only. But it was all in an attempt to try and literally be prepared as much as I can, so that I think as least as possible and I can just react, right? Especially at my position, being a linebacker, you're kind of the quarterback of the defense, right? And the longer it takes for me to process, to communicate to the guy that's next to me, the worse position we'd be as a defense as a whole. So I really, embrace that responsibility, and I try to do, as much work as possible. I really try to just bug my coaches as much. I just try to gain as much knowledge, and I really want to think like the way my defensive coordinator is thinking. And all my coaches will probably say this, but, I bug them, whether we're in the in-season, the off-season. I'll try to reach a new level. And if I can think the way my coach is thinking and even anticipate kind of his calls now, I feel like it'll not only make me a better player, but it make us a better defense as well. So that's always the next level that I'm trying to reach. And just not to take it too far of a tangent, but even a different angle when we talk about mental preparation and mental toughness, we have to mention mental toughness. It's so easy, specifically at the next level beyond college, university. It's so easy to be distracted from different things. And, there's media, there's all other things that you can do, and you have ample time. It's about time management and knowing, prioritizing the right things to do. And so I remember my first year, with all the hype, getting into the pros, getting there, getting drafted and everything, performing well in training camp. My very, very first preseason, not even the regular season yet, very first preseason game, I ended up getting clipped on a punt team. I'm running down and I get clipped by my own teammate. I'll never forget his name. Wore number 5, Rico McCoy, clipped me, and I fell and I hurt my knee. And it was something that ended up being worse than I initially thought it was. I ended up missing the next 9 weeks. Doctors said initially it was going to be 6 weeks, and it ended up taking 9 weeks. And the mental toughness that I had to develop through that time was extremely important and helped me throughout my whole career. Just because, you know, a lot of times people look at, you know, pros or anybody that's reached a level of success and think, man, like, I wish I was there, but you don't know what they've gone through. Right, what they had to endure and how they had to develop and how they had to grow and all the hard times they may have had to face. And that's the reason why they are who they are. But like, I remember specifically that at that point, I had to be honest with myself. I had to have conversations with myself. Like, is this really even for you? Right. And you had to fight that. And that's in your head. Right. It's between your ears. It had nothing to do with the how many times I can bench press 225 pounds, how high I can jump. It's literally between my ears. And, you know, the importance of being positive with yourself and speaking life into yourself and having the right people speak life into you as well is another aspect also that I feel like it needs to be mentioned when we talk about being mentally strong.